Hello and good evening. It is the AFL Armchair Advisors. We are back for week 2 of this finals campaign for season 2021 of the AFL season. I am Rich, your host as always, and joining me is a man more sensible than any other man, woman, child, monk, nun, priest, a Buddha, anything that you've ever met. It is Sensible Dan. How are you, fella?
I'm feeling very good, mate. It's been a big weekend of footy. We had some good games, and now I'm looking forward to another.
Is this indeed? Yes, indeed. Absolutely. And then again, I'm also joined on my other side by a man who is at the exact opposite end of that scale when it comes to intellectualism, and yet still manages to be more intelligent than any boss he's ever worked for. How are you, Desmond Van Bus? What's up?
Oh, well, that is the biggest compliment I've ever been given. I have a pressing issue at the moment. A pressing issue. If you can actually see on my chest here and by my Guernsey, can you just say the initials for me, please?
It looks like Tum from here.
It does.
What are you wearing?
Tum.
What is it?
Is that a fat joke?
Got it.
Okay, he's got, ouch. Oh, well, I don't know if I want to talk now. Well, it's TLM. TLM.
What's
because Toby lives matter.
Oh, come on.
Toby lives matter.
Come on, I'm not having...
I just want to... we're going to talk about the game a little bit later, and I will go into further detail about TLM and the TLM movement, but... don't you...
The TLM movement.
Didn't the AFL want
Its
that
neighbourhood.
game to be good?
Yeah.
Didn't that AFL want the game to be good? And now
There's no one to blame but Tobias Greene.
We would deal with Toby later. I tell you what, I love the Giants. I rate the Guernsey.
It's a nice Guernsey.
I'm going to refer to that as Tum because I don't want my house to get firebombed by peaceful protesters. Let us, fellas, move on. It is week 2 of this finals campaign, of course. We've got 2 whoppingly great semi-finals on the line this week. It's loser goes home, winner proceeds through to a prelim. Last week we saw 2 teams exit in Sydney and the Essendon Bombers, and I think it's only fair, seeing as we did a 10-minute long 10-team review of season 2021 for the other 10 piles of doo-doo that competed and did nothing this year.
Especially West Coast.
We're not talking about West Coast on this pod no more.
Not for months, mate.
They don't exist. They don't exist. We don't have to talk about them. We're going to give it just a couple of minutes rundown on Sydney and Essendon, their fortunes this year. I reckon 2 minutes apiece.
A little bit more respect than the fallen already.
Yeah, look, you make finals, you earn 60 seconds more.
Yep.
I think that's pretty fair. All right, let's start the clock. Dan, Swans, talk to me. How'd they go? What'd they do?
I feel like that's a pretty disappointing end to the season for the Swans, to be honest. Towards the back end of the season, they were sort of getting towards everyone's premiership fancies. Even as early as last week, everyone was thinking, lay up victory against the Giants. No chance they lose this one. They'll move forward, proceed to face whoever they're going to face.
Or even face Geelong, mate.
Correct.
Face a hurting Geelong.
Exactly, and Buddy would kick his 1,000, and now we've got to wait, and it's disappointing. It's really disappointing.
So you say that. I feel like they did significantly better. Like, I don't know if it was a disappointing season personally.
I
had them bottom 6, and they shot past my expectations.
You put words in my mouth. I didn't say disappointing season. I said a disappointing end.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm in the same boat, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later as well. But they came from nowhere and they surprised everybody. I just feel like they would have liked to have gone at least one step further.
Very interesting.
They did, and they deserved clearly they didn't, but in my opinion, they deserved a finals win for the year that they had, especially for those young players. Like getting dusted by a point, that's real nasty. It's a real nasty way to end for a nice club. A nice club is the way to put them.
What do they need going forward next year? What do they need?
Do you know what? I think they just need to keep the morale, and I'm going to bring it on reference here. Keep that team spirit going because as I've said many times on the pod, they like to win games. They're here to win games. It's as simple as that. Some teams aren't here to win games. Swannies are here to win.
This just in, football team is here to win games.
Simple though.
Dan.
Simple. Adelaide aren't here to win games. What about Gold Coast?
Simple but true.
I
actually think they're a little bit too one-dimensional through the middle. I think Hickey was fantastic this year, great pickup, but it's the same guys at the centre bounces every single week. A little bit of variety. Spice of life, they reckon.
Can I also say I really want to see Logan McDonald get games into him, especially alongside Bud, because with Bud they are very one-dimensional, and Tom Papley is not your key forward.
I mean, and his time in the league is razor thin.
It is. So get games into McDonald. All right, let's talk Essendon. Desmond Van Bus, how did the Dons go this year? What did you like? What did you hate?
Well, I'm real up and down with the Dons because I like individual players, but as a franchise, I really dislike the Bombers, and I feel like that's how many people feel. I love Tipper, Jake Stringer, breakout performances. I wouldn't say breakout year, breakout performances, and people think he was shafted from the AA, and I disagree with that purely because you can't finish off the year strong and have a doozy to begin with. But that's good for the Bombers. That's really good for the Bombers to see, and he played really well in finals as well. Really, we didn't expect them to be in this position though.
No, again, like Sydney,
So
I genuinely thought
can't be
bottom
disappointed.
6.
Can't be disappointed. It's disappointing because the AFL media have led it to be disappointing because they haven't won a final since I was 2. But they're a great team. They didn't expect to make finals.
Well, it was only last week that I said it on the show. It was 2 weeks ago, maybe even. 7AFL posted on Twitter, can the Bombers win a prelim this year? They still haven't won one final.
No.
But amazing.
Can the Bombers win 3 back-to-back
did
flags?
They played well on the weekend.
Well, exactly.
It was a good first half.
Look,
In the first half.
and overall season, you'd have to be happy. New coach, a lot of new players. I feel like, perfect building blocks. I reckon they're going to go onwards and upwards from here.
I loved Cox. I loved looking at Cox.
Young Cox, mate.
I loved looking at Cox.
So do I.
I also like Perkins. Blokes getting unearthed like Durham just rocked up, did a great job.
Yep.
Waterman, a bit of a money ball. Hind, of course.
Absolutely.
There's a heck of a lot to be
And we
happy
saw
about.
nothing of Jai Caldwell.
Exactly.
Really. Put on ice with the hamstring in round 2. And,
Minimum of Dylan Shield.
So there's definite signs there.
Strongly agree. I'm thinking though that they just need time. I reckon. I genuinely think the Bombers just got to finals a year earlier than they should have. They'll be better for the run next year. I hope that they don't get ahead of themselves and think, well, we can do it. We're good now. The expectation is to go forward and win a final next year. It's not going to be that easy.
I do think they need a key forward. You can't go forward with Peter Wright as your guy.
Strongly agree on that one. But let us now go forward. And I'd love to say we're going to do game 1. But in the spirit of just of eating your veggies before you can get to your apple crumble and ice cream afterwards, we're going to have Dez's 60-second scramble first, and then we're going to jump right into your game 1 preview. Desi, what you got for us, man?
I do have some tasty veggies for you. All right, I'm very excited. For those that are new to the pod, if you are new to the pod, like, share and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button because it is scramble time. It used to be 60 seconds, but I get too excited. I ask the boys some questions, the hard-hitting questions that you guys want to know that I would like to know, mainly me. All right, are we ready? Who would like to go first?
Dan.
Yeah, me.
All right. All right, Dan. Which amphibious animal is Dan McStay?
Amphibious
animal.
Gummy shark.
Nah, he would be a gummy shark at the moment.
That's amphibious is on land and in sea. Both. It's going to be both.
Water dwelling.
Well,
Gummy shark, you've already said it.
I don't really know too many amphibious creatures. We'll say gummy shark, mate.
Gummy shark,
Okay.
I'm happy with that. All right, who is the biggest Will Minson of the AFL finals, Rich?
What do you mean by that? What's that referring to?
You know.
You're looking for a word that starts with spurt and rhymes with plastic, I assume. A la what Rodney
Eade style spray.
Rodney Eade style spray. Of the finals so far. Joe Danaher absolutely did not fire a shot on the weekend against the D's. Just walked around, big smile on the head, like, what are you doing, bloke? Kick a goal.
I like it. Well, I've got a good question for you about the Giants, Dan. Can you give me GWS's chances this week without Toby in the form of a song? Not in the form, like, the name of a song.
In the name of a song?
So, like...
So no, I think what he's trying to say in pigeon Hobbit English from Middle Earth,
I got excited.
he's trying to say,
butchered
I've
this.
got excited.
Name a song that best represents the Giants' chances
Correct.
this week without Toby.
Correct. But the scramble is all about deciphering the puzzle as well. And you failed.
Well, and is there a surprise to that?
That's not a test. You
Harvard scholars would have no idea what you were trying to spit out of your gob then, mate. In the form of a song, my music history
You're going to sing?
is not that crash hot, and I actually don't know. What's a song that rhymes with zero?
No, I don't think it's supposed to rhyme with like the title of a song. I don't know, like no, I'm not taking over. You know what I mean? Like,
you take this one.
What's a song that represents their chances without Toby? What's a song lyric that represents their chances
Highway to
without
Hell.
Toby? Highway to Hell. Well,
yeah,
perfect.
that's
Thank
not bad.
you.
I was thinking something by James Blunt, possibly. Sure.
You're beautiful.
All right. All right, Richie. Which Geelong player does their local seafood shopping at Audi?
Josh Jenkins.
Respect it. And we like Josh Jenkins. Did the roof climb with Josh Jenkins. So shout out if you're watching the pod. Give us a like.
Just the most random.
Yeah.
All right. Very, very interesting. All right. Nob, who is a nephew of Byron.
Big Knob Pickett.
Nephew of Byron.
Shout out to Nob Pickett.
Versus Razio Fantasia in a triple jump off. Who wins? So, like,
Knob.
just...
Knob. Ratio's body wouldn't hold up, mate.
Man,
Injuries galore. Nob Pickett's built to last.
Nob's got hops, man.
Awesome.
Nob's got speed.
That's what I like to hear.
Speed
All
dog.
right.
Speed
Richie, name 3 famous actors from 3 different genres that Cody Waitman could replace.
He could replace Brad Pitt from Fight Club. Same build, same hair. Durden. Thank you very much.
Tyler Durden.
Tyler Durden.
He could replace. Let's think. He could replace different genres.
Matthew McConaughey and Dazed and Confused, putting that out there.
Perfect. All right. Yeah,
What
perfect.
made me think of it?
I'm feeling a bit of Dumb and Dumber action here, mate.
Yeah. Look. Yeah. Which
Not
one?
Lloyd. Not Lloyd Christmas. What's the other one?
No, the other one. Harry
Harry.
Dunn.
Yeah.
Harry Dunn with the hair that
Absolutely.
looks like
Same,
he's,
same hair, mate.
yeah, he looks like he's been licking a Van de Graaff generator and it's just gone.
Well, it is finals, so I've got 2 more questions for you guys. So buckle up.
Fuck.
Does Brad Scott own a skateboard and could he ride it? Simple one.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Why wouldn't he give it a crack?
But does he own one?
Yeah.
So he was a skater boy.
Yep.
Oh, said
I mean,
see you
why
later,
not?
boy.
Why not?
All right, and big question here. Which
What a
demon?
mound of nothing that was.
I know.
Get on with it.
Which demon is banned from the Bunsen burner after an unfortunate incident at school?
Oh, can't use the Bunsen burner.
Can't use the Bunsen burner. It was an unfortunate incident.
This one's very easy. Ben Brown.
Hair?
The man's 9 meters tall. Bends over to light up the Bunsen burner. The long locks, they get in the road.
Yeah.
Catch fire.
Ben Burn.
Yeah, Ben Burn. And then also
Ben Bunsen burner.
yeah, big
Bunsen Browner.
big boner Ben Burning Brown.
I could have imagined Jaden Huntos as well with the old digits, depth perception wise. Before he knew what was going on.
Yeah, sure.
Half the flanges.
Yeah,
in
he's
there.
got a crispy chicken tender on the
Yeah.
end of his hand. Sure. Well, Des, that was as baffling and irritating as usual. Thank you very much. We love it. We appreciate it. We can't wait to see it again next week.
TLM.
Cheapers. And on that happy note, fellas, boys and girls, AFL fans around the world, let us now have a look at the second semi-final being hosted at Optus Stadium by the Geelong Cats, featuring the GWS Giants. I said, of course, the second, because that's how it's listed in the AFL official running sheets. It's the second of 2, even though it's being played first. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's cool class by
mate,
the AFL as always, mate.
We follow a league full of geniuses. Sensible Dan, what's the word here?
There's a lot of words here. I'll start with the Cats. We'll get that out of the way because the Giants is pretty self-explanatory here, I think. It was a pathetic loss for the Catters last week.
Disgusting.
They struggled mightily against Port. We were all sort of on them to a degree last week. I thought that the game style would stack up based on what's happened in the past, but yeah, they just looked disgraceful. They're actually 6-13 in finals now since their last flag victory.
And is it something like 1-6 in qualifying / prelim finals, I believe, as well?
It's something real bad since 2012.
Could very well be. And all these people that are saying, "Oh, this is just what Geelong does before what." But before another loss,
Mate, I got a message from a mate saying that exact phrase. Let me go and find it. Keep talking. Let me go
disgusting.
find it.
Look, Dangerfield's also got that hand injury, so a few big tears to that one. It's all the Danger show again this week. They reckon he'll get up, but why wouldn't he? I mean, it's just a finger injury, like grow up. In a nice little phallus kiss, though, typical of Geelong, they've been gifted a weakened opponent. This is like rocking up to bloody Pallet Town after you've defeated the Pokemon League, walk into the first bit of grass there with your level 60 Charizard, and you meet a level 2 Rattata.
Got that.
It's a very niche reference, but I like it.
You get me?
hyperfang here, baby.
No. Just destruction. They've got Giants got no Cummers, no Toby Greene, no Tom Green, and the rest, and they're carrying. I would say it's carrying Stephen Cornelio at the moment.
I would say as well. 11 touches from your captain.
And 46% efficiency.
Oh, it was real bad.
That's disgusting.
I'd like to think he'd be better for the run. I don't know if he's going to be better for the run.
13 disposals at 50% efficiency this week, boys.
The thing.
I can't, honestly, I would love to get really excited for this. I, honest to God, cannot see this one going any other way than a Geelong win.
You look at the last time that the Giants beat Geelong, it was really their B team. Not their entire beat, but because Cummings played, but besides Cummings, quality was really lacking. I went and looked back at the team and the outs were more than I thought, when I watched that game originally. And they got up, but I just don't know if they've got the fire to do it again. This whole Toby thing is really draining. It'd be so draining again, and you'd just be thinking again, and then Cummings is out draining. Greene out draining. Poor Greene, he could barely handball the ball. He was pretty.
He was in
cactus.
big strife last week.
Things like that, they just don't like to see that in the rooms, and especially when you've got a formidable opponent, Geelong.
Well, look across both teams' expected lineups going in. Now, the only thing stopping Geelong at this point is form. It's up here. It's the world jumping on them and saying, look at this Scheisenhausen team. They're no good in finals. In fact, that's exactly what my mate Jonty said, what you were saying before. They always do this. Jonty says they, Geelong, looked absolutely cooked tonight, but they do this every year. Sydney will beat GWS, and then the Cats will roll the Swans next week. Then come prelim time, they'll shit the bed again. Now, aside from the Swans conundrum in there, I genuinely think that's what's going to happen here, okay?
And I think Swans would be a harder matchup for Geelong as well, so...
better for Geelong that GWS got in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly, though, one thing that is going in GWS' favour here, the last 3 matchups between these two, GWS has won.
They had last how many?
3.
They've won the last 3.
They've beaten the Cats
3
in
for 3.
their last 3 games.
Jeepers.
So they've got a little bit of form coming into this in terms of the individual matchup. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, look, as I mentioned beforehand, actually, I've got a stat for you. Fun fact. That game against Port, the 5th time in 6 seasons, Geelong's lowest score of the year came in a final. Not good stuff. But
well, that happens in the first final too. What do they call that? Elimination final or the qualifying final? Because I know they lost to Melbourne and had a dismal score in like 2018 or something. But I looked through it like all the finals and had a little bit of a scan. Surprisingly, a little bit of planning.
Nice.
And it was all in the first week. Like it was just that. Yeah. It's like, and you can say the post-season bye or whatever, but they didn't even have a post-season bye this year. That was disgusting. It's
a very interesting trend line. But no, as I was saying, look, if you look at the lineups for both of these coming into this game, I genuinely feel like the biggest threat to Geelong coming in is Geelong's mindset, and that's it. Okay? They got Mitch Duncan back, and we were all like, Mitch Duncan, remember that guy? You know, they're racing him back after pinging a hammy. Watch him do another one. The exact opposite. Best on for Geelong by a country mile. It was incredible.
Yep.
Up forward, Hawkins, Sav, Cameron. Now, down back, yes, they're going to be missing Stewart again. I'm hearing peeps that Tui's back in. Okay, that's big. That's big.
Yep.
Aside from that, who are they really missing through the guts? Who are they really missing through the back line or the forward line? Whereas GWS, Shane Mumford is banged up to hell. Like, this is it. This is his last game.
What's his number? 41. That's how old he looks.
Yeah, and that's how many surgeries he's going to need post-season in order to be able to walk again, let alone do anything else.
Drink a nice cool beer.
Exactly. Isaac Cumming, with no S, arguably their most improved defender this year, arguably in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Now out. Tom Greene, everyone had him down for a rising star at various points of the year. First choice midfielder, walk-up start. He's going to be out.
Yep.
Toby Greene, the less said the better. Talisman. This is just devastation, and I'd be filthy if I was Giants boys. But then again, you don't know. Does a challenger approach? Do you know what I mean? Does necessity become the mother of invention and spur onwards a bloke to rise up out of the ashes to carry this team forward? My answer is no. It's not going to happen this week. It's not going to happen.
There's a reason why I've got the Giants Guernsey on tonight. It's because it's going to be the last time I wear it until this time next year.
I'd have thought.
Correct.
And
what, we're in the finals again?
and look, it's sad. You don't want finals to end up like this. But, I mean, like as you said, realistically, unless someone stands up big time.
Oh, it'd be nicer for the Cats to win anyway. Melbourne versus Collingwood. What am I saying? Melbourne versus Geelong is a much better game than Melbourne versus the Giants to make a grand final.
Yep.
You want to have the best teams in the grand final. Like you really want 1 and 2. You don't want it to be like a Richmond and Giants. It's ironic that the Giants are the team here as well, but you don't want these teams to go real deep in finals. It's nice. It's a nice fairy tale, but not a team like the Giants. Because Toby's not going to play. Cummings is out. All these good players are out.
And the matchups just aren't great. I mean, look at Hawkins, Sav, Cameron lining up against Sam Taylor, who's admittedly been very good, but how old is the dude? Like 20, somewhere in there. Okay,
young.
Nick Haynes, very good, but he's a one-man band. Whereas they need Cumming. They need Phil Davis.
They do.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
There's just...
And even Geelong popping Gary Rowan back in the back lines. Like, he didn't get as many touches. On paper, he had a horrendous game. And there were some moments where he really shot the bed. But he actually... And because I sat relatively close, and that was actually right in front of Gary. And he did some good things. He wasn't horrible in defence. Because Cam, I went with Cam, resident resident cat supporter,
Resident
Cam
catter.
Popwell.
Yep.
And he thought Gary was the one that was subbed off for Sean Higgins. We didn't see him. We're looking for the big redhead, and he was in the back lines. And he wasn't as bad as what people are saying. People are jumping on Gary Rowan's back here. And,
but it's easy to do because Gary Rowan is...
He's an intensely hateable figure.
I agree. But he wasn't that bad in defence, and I think he can be a problem for whoever he goes on.
Credit where it's due. The man's got a gas tank and
he
can
goes
run.
hard.
And can run. I actually don't hate that as a choice from Chris Scott throwing him back there.
No, look, it was a real good option.
If they lose this, I genuinely think you got to show Chris Scott the door, to be honest with you.
You've got to try and call Clarko, say how much you want.
You got.
Well, I mean, again,
you've
got the winningest coach in history award with one flag to show for it.
In your first year.
In a decade.
Yeah, exactly.
But in your first year.
And in a team where...
that was given to you from Balme.
They seem to... Exactly. That's exactly right. And they seem to, have a way of pulling in all these powerful free agents that no other team's got. And what are you doing with them? What are you doing with these players? Nothing.
Squandering them.
I would agree. They won't get rid of him, but
because they'll win this week, and that will keep the wolf from the door for another 12 months.
Yep.
So I think we're all agreed here. Geelong, 1-39.
Yep.
Could even be more. Just if a bad Giants come here, Geelong could hurt them, and everyone could jump back on that Geelong bandwagon.
It's at Optus, which is genuinely intriguing. That's very interesting because the Giants have been on the road for the last, 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
Long time.
Longer. Geelong... At home, come over to Port Adelaide.
And they like it at Optus. They play well at Optus.
Well, interesting, very interesting. Now, I've got a couple of multis. So I did the 2 games this week, but for both games, I've got a little baby multi, a little fairy multi, a little sprinkle multi. Okay.
Spritzer.
Yeah, just a little spritzer multi.
Pop tickler.
One of those ones. And then I've got a bigger one. Then I've got one for the lads that like a meal, that like to be fed, that like a full stomach.
Well, spit them out then.
Well, settle down.
Good grief.
I'm building up. Jeepers. All right. So let's have a look. 3 legs on this one. Low odds, but as I said, it's only a little teaser. Now, I'm liking Geelong head-to-head. I'm liking Isaac Smith for 20 disposals. And I'm liking Sam Menegola for 20 disposals as well. Only 3 legs. It's only paying about $2.30 in the vicinity of there. But I feel like that's a layup. I'm very happy with that one. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Low odds, but get your money. The bigger one. It's 5 legs. Okay. Lovely. I'm talking Mitch Duncan. I'm talking Cam Guthrie. I'm talking Josh Kelly to get 25 disposals. I'm talking Nick Haynes to get 15. He is going to be under siege back there all night, and that's going to happen. I'm talking Tim Taranto, anytime goal scorer, was paying somewhere about $1.80 when I saw him earlier. Toby Greene out. He's going to go forward.
Someone's going to have to.
He's going to go forward. So big Timmy T is going to have a look at the big sticks, put him in for a goal. That 5 legs there is paying just a shade under $6.
Delicious.
Not bad.
I've got a couple to add to that. I like Geelong at the line here. It's currently set at 16.5. I think that's money for jam, realistically.
Like that a lot.
Tommy Atkins, I was on him last week, didn't come through, but he will this week. So 15 plus disposals, paying $1.62.
Is it really, James?
He's hit that in 17 of his 20 games this year, so he doesn't mind doing that.
Not bad.
And Harry Perryman, last week after Isaac Cumming left the field, he racked up 29 disposals. He'll have the monopoly on kick-ins this week, so 20 plus is paying $1.50.
Remember when Perryman went nuts with goals at the start of last year?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, was leading the goal kicking after about 4 rounds and then went down back and never to be seen again.
It's sank without a trace, just like GWS will do. Okay, gents, it is about time that we leap on to the second of 2 scheduled games for this week. However, I've got to get this one out because I've been sitting on it, I've been festering on it all evening, which means, of course, it is time for this week's...
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Dummy of the week.
Yes, indeed. This is a gigantic dummy of the week. It's a massive final series, and of course, you have to have a massive dummy of the week in order to go with that aesthetic. I've got a genuine laundry list of grievances here from real stupid people.
And if the advisors know stupid people, they know stupid people.
We know.
We can identify them.
On site.
Absolutely.
On site. All right, I'm gonna spit a few out here. Okay, let's rattle through a couple of quickies and then we'll get to some big berthers.
Let's do it.
First one up, and he's a favourite here at the show. We love him. It's David King, of course.
Ooh.
It couldn't be anyone else but David King.
One of the faves.
We love him. He's a regular.
Genius.
He is a regular contributor to our Dummy of the Week section. David King this week reckons that Collingwood need to kickstart their trade period. They need to kickstart the regrowth. They need to kickstart the rebuild. Now, we all know that Collingwood need a shout-out for trading that first-round pick away to the Giants, which has now become pick 2, so that's a pretty dumb move.
Not bad.
In hindsight.
Giants win this weekend no matter what.
God.
They're good.
That's amazing. Anyways, move on with that. David King reckons in order to restart Collingwood's rebuild, let's trade out Jordan De Goey to the Giants maybe, get pick 2 back in, and then maybe chuck in someone like Jake Riccardi as well, just as a set of steak knives maybe. So
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So a rebuild in which you need as much talent, quality footballers, and all out established stars realistically to someone to build a team around. You need someone to build a team around.
Well, and let's just think about this for 2 seconds as well, right? So back into this year, probably the last 8 games, Jordan De Goey was comfortably, I would say anyway, the Pies' best player.
Yes. Certainly most consistent.
Easily their best midfielder, right? Yep. Pendlebury and Sidebottom are circling the drain. They're getting real close to retirement, all right? You get rid of Jordan De Goey, you're getting rid of 3 of your best midfielders in the space of, 2 years?
And Taylor Adams is always injured, and he's 27 this year currently. So, I mean...
And look, even then, I think Taylor Adams is still probably the next captain, but...
I agree.
You're not just giving up Jordan De Goey, you're giving up a hell of a lot. A hell of a lot.
For pick 2.
Yeah.
And Jake Riccardi from the Giants.
Yeah, good.
So, Kingy, brother. Why not trade Brodie Grundy to the Crows for pick 5?
And Jordan De Goey.
And Jake Riccardi can just come over anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and
dumb.
we'll give you. I'm not going to say Kieran Strawn.
No one gets Kieran Strawn.
Well, he's already better than Brodie Grundy.
But we'll give you Rob.
Dear Matt. Now, I spied with my little eye during the week a little Ricky Nixon on Facebook. The big chicken train was out in force this week.
I don't know this. I'm excited.
He's been serving a big ban in old Facebook jail. Zuckerberg had him duped in the dooper. And Nixon's been exercising his thumbs as hard as a man can.
If I know why, he deserved it. He absolutely deserved it.
Well, we're not speculating on what he might have done, but I can tell you what he did say. It was shit canning Optus Oval all week, saying, why would the AFL send the grand final to a shit ground that's not going to sell out and no one's going to rock up to on grand final day?
Okay.
Chook, did you see the Dreamtime game? Mm-hmm. 2 random plod teams at that point who were having mediocre seasons.
Middle of the whole season.
Yep.
And they sold that shit out.
In 2 seconds.
And it was a Dreamtime game.
Yeah.
Where you genuinely think no one's going to rock up to the granny at Optus.
Yep. And it was actually out of control as well.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was electric.
This will be the exact same. Fill it out. They'll have people 100 deep outside the stadium clamouring to get in.
But as per usual, this is just classic Victorian suckery. Nowhere does it like the MCG. Blah blah blah.
I think it'll look nicer.
I thought
the stadium really has a real nice aesthetic, mate.
Just rewinding, it was good at the Gab last year. They put some effort into it.
Yeah,
it was fine.
Didn't even notice it was any different. To be honest,
I genuinely think it would be better.
And I actually think it would probably be better at Optus Stadium.
I just really hope the AFL sends a piece of the MCG turf to Optus Stadium because it's just not a grand final unless there's some MCG turf there.
What will they do without it? How will the players be able to live with themselves?
No, they won't be able to perform. No, stage a coup. And Chook Nixon, he's clamouring for it because Optus Oval's shit house, apparently. Unbelievable. All right, it's the elephant in the room. We've got to talk Toby. Toby might be in line for the absolute dumbest dummy of the year. Doty. He might be in line for Doty at the minute.
Look, lock for mine. In terms of the context, situation, just...
What was on the line, the whole box and dice. Look,
unbelievably stupid.
Whether or not you think out there that he should have got 3, that he should have got none, and it's a beat up, and if last name was Selwood, then he would have got off. If you think he should have got 10, doesn't matter what you think. The very first rule that you learn as a kid playing football is respect the umpires.
Any sport.
Leave them alone. Don't touch them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but the umpire could have moved. He was standing there. It doesn't matter. He could have been standing there naked, masturbating furiously, making direct eye contact at Toby. Doesn't matter.
The onus is not
Don't touch
on
him.
Matt Stevick to move.
No.
The onus is on Toby Greene not to bump him.
Another example is you look at Dyson Heppel in the Essendon game. Do you see he ran into the umpire?
Mm-hmm.
So head down, incidentally ran into the umpire. No one bats an eye because, you can't help that.
It was a football act. It was part of the game.
It's just Dyson Heppel. Really was the umpire's fault, but it was a little 50-50. Mm-hmm. But Dyson Heppel, he's not looking out for the umpire. Whereas Toby, you watch him, and everyone has seen it.
But if you
just look
see,
at it, it's just like, oh.
if you see someone burn their hand on a stove 9 times and then they go back and burn it a 10th, are you going to feel sorry for them? No, you're going to call them a knuckleheaded.
I feel sorry for the Giants.
How many times and they're the victims here?
I've got absolutely no sympathy for Toby Greene in this situation whatsoever. Again, 3-10, 0, whatever. So it's the dumbest thing that's happened on an AFL field, in AFL media, anything this year. Comfortable lock for Dotty for mine.
Hugely stupid. I've got to give a big shout out though to Gill McLachlan though, in light of this whole thing. He's saying, has a bowel movement, and then the AFL should. We'll be looking into this. We're surprising. It's surprising the decision. We're dubious on it. We'll be asking for more. You don't need to ask for more. Everyone's got the point. Everyone understands. You don't touch the umps. 3 games. Everyone knows Toby's a pest. People aren't going to be looking at Toby getting 3 games and thinking, well, I'll tell you what, 3 games isn't that bad. I might just run up to Matt Stevick and hit him in the head with a cricket bat at the next half-time siren. What you going to do about that, Gill? Give me 3?
3,
Man.
yes.
Don't need to give it 10. Just leave it be. 3 is enough. Everyone knows it was stupid. Move on. Mm-hmm. Last but not least.
I've also got one, so don't.
In that case,
I know what it's going to be, though.
Let me wet my whistle, please. Fire away.
Okay, yeah,
Big Dan.
no worries. So... refer in. Sorry, I guess Toby Greene sort of comes into this conversation as well, right? So midweek, there's the AFL Daily Pod. All right, Mitch Cleary, Damien Purple Barrett, jump on, chat shit, what have you, right? Throughout who they think should be Coach of the Year this year, right? Now, would you say Leon Cameron is Coach of the Year?
I could probably name 17 others.
So they both they both thought
15.
Leon Cameron deserves Coach of the Year this year, right?
Based on what?
Oh, how many injuries they've had to deal with, how much travel they've had to do.
And they drew with North Melbourne in Tassie.
Yeah, exactly. I think when they discussed that, how much travel they've had to do, the other Sydney team, which has been considerably better, come considerably higher up the table and also dealt with injury, I would have thought Horse probably deserves it. Potentially even, I don't know, Simon Goodwin? 9th to 1st.
I'd also say potentially Ken.
Leon Cameron has taken the Giants from 10th to 7th. Wow.
Yeah.
3 spots. Yeah, even Ben Rutten. Give him him some shout. You know, Sydney was projected to be a bottom 4 team. Dons were projected to be a bottom 4 team. Both of them made finals with, we
didn't even know about Melbourne. I remember at the start of the year, we're like, Melbourne could be really good, Melbourne could be average here. And then they started winning. We're like, we don't believe it.
We sat here at the start of this year and we said Melbourne have done virtually nothing to improve their team whatsoever. Didn't get any free agents in.
They've been grinding.
Sat on their hands and were just like, oh, well, see what happens, run it back. And
good on them, though. They've been grinding.
Exactly. GWS have access to all these talents every single year. They've got a laundry list of players in their twos that haven't been getting game time because, there's
just too stacked.
Too many teams. Leon Cameron has been at GWS now since 2014. Still hasn't won the big one. With the most talented list in the league every single year, just about, I would say. This year, have they had injuries? Yes. Have they lost players? Absolutely. I'd still argue that they were lucky to sneak into finals in the first place.
Bang on.
And Toby Greene, this is where it all comes back into it, right? So Toby Greene's been under Leon Cameron leadership for 7 years now. Why has Leon Cameron not stepped in and said, what do you think you are doing? Pull your head in, you absolute mong.
I'll tell you what'll sort him out. Make him captain. Make him captain, and then he'll go from punching out umpires to all of a sudden going to church and saying his Hail Marys.
Because all that is to me, right, Toby Greene doing all this sort of dumb shit, that's a direct reflection of what Leon Cameron is allowing him to do. Why is he not stepping in and doing something? That's what a true leader would do.
Imagine what Malcolm Blight would have done.
He would have taken a cricket bat to him at half time.
Absolutely.
I promise you he would have walked on.
I don't want to hear this crap, and I'm a bit biased against Leon Cameron because I think...
Your thoughts on Leon are well known.
But, Coach of the Year... Give me a spell.
I genuinely think you could almost make I could make arguments for nearly everybody else. Matthew Nix, considering what the Crows have been through and not having a single footballing talent on the team, a bar Rory Laird.
King Ken.
Kenny Hinkley not only competed and had the best record of any finals team coming in, but also blooded some genuinely good, talented youngsters. Lockie Jones, the Bergman. I mean, there's just two,
Willem.
Willem's arisen.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely. Like you said, there's a laundry list. There's a laundry list team, not Leon Cameron. 3 spots on the table.
Nah, son, nah, not for mine, Doug.
Boom.
Okay.
All right, finish it off.
This one. It's got to go, and I'm sorry. This is a genuine wind-up. Sam Edmund, supposed AFL journalist who jumped on the Twitter sphere earlier in the week and was saying, nah, Neil Balme to the Crows. Lock it in. It's done. It is done. Neil Balme to the Crows. Didn't name a source. Didn't provide any other information around it. Just, Neil Balme to the Crows. Done. Moron. Okay, moron. Because as we record this right now, what's happened? Big Balme's come out, said, nah, son, nah, there'll be none of that. I'm not leaving Tiggy Land. I'm staying here. Richmond come out, said pretty much the exact same thing. And everyone rolled with the story when it came out. Triple M went with it. 7AFL went with it. All these different outlets. And I was suckered in. Don't get me wrong. I saw that story and I thought, brilliant.
Well, it's one of those...
Big Balme to the Crows. But I'm also not a journalist. I'm a moron in a shirt who sits here and talks loudly. That's my job.
Well, and it's also one of those things. Once a bunch of places start running with it, you can't help but think, all right, well, it must be fair and valid then. You know, if multiple media outlets are running with this, it's credible.
He had no source at all. And then he comes out on Twitter last night. Oh, yeah, look, hand up. Sometimes you get a bum steer in this caper and the story that you get turns out to be not the right one there, Duck. Buggered that one, didn't I? And all these simps.
Social justice warriors.
Simps with button penises who are in the comments.
Sam. Well done for this, Sam.
Yeah.
Good work, Sam.
That's exactly what it was. Oh, well done for owning it. If only more journalists owned their mistakes like you, Sam. He's not owning his mistakes. He's caught bang to rights, absolutely dead in the water and had nothing else to do. But I tell you what, look, if everyone's saying, oh, maybe he was lied to. Maybe the source told him a fib. I'm not having that. If you're a established AFL journalist...
You don't think he would have said that?
Well, step number one, call up Richmond and say, yeah, g'day, Richmond. Sam Edmund here. Yeah, g'day, mate. I'm the one responsible for other previous geniusly told stories that you might have heard of, such as Adam Treloar's not leaving the Magpies.
And P is stored in the balls.
Yeah, Richmond, what's the go here with Neil Balme? Is he leaving? Call Richmond and ask him. If they say, yeah, he's leaving, you got a story. If they say, no, he's not leaving, you don't have a story.
And if they say no comment, you've got a story.
Well, if they say no comment, step 2, you call Neil Balme's management and say, oh, I hear Balme's on the way out. Where's Balme going to? And then the manager says, no, he's not going anywhere. Bang, done. You've done your research.
But even if he's got wrong information for someone, the first thing a journo would do, rule number 1, is if you have got the source from someone else and it's wrong, just handball the blame. He hasn't even done that. So
well, he was dead. He was dead
to rights, mate.
Like, there's no recovery from that. Man's got skewered. Oh. But just ultimate stupid. Like, and where's the accountability? Do you know what I mean? The journalists are just one-upping each other constantly trying to get the next big story in the door. And Dingbat Sam has just decided, I'll tell you what, I'm not calling Richmond and I'm not calling Balme or his manager or any of his mates or his mum or his dad or his cousin or any bloke that's ever known him. No, I'm not doing that. So a mate whose girlfriends, sisters, brothers, nephews, dogs, uncles, cousins, aunties, lawyers, chefs, Chinese sheep farmer overheard it from his neighbour that Balme's heading. Oh, I'll jump on the Twitter. Oh, wait, Twitter, here's some bullshit.
I think you would agree with me here. All the journalists in this country, AFL related, who are trying to fight over stories and blah, 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 go to Twitter or watch ESPN and have a look how Adrian Wojciechowski does it.
Like
the king. The king, mate. He's the king. The Woj, mate.
Woj bomb.
Woj bombs. He gets them out first, but they're always accurate. Mm-hmm. You got to know where your sources are coming from. And if you're just rolling with this crap, right? Terrible.
And it is crap. There's no accountability.
I think it'll reflect poorly on him though. Like you've lost all your credibility.
You've got to be tarnished.
Anyone that matters, it's going to take it's a long road back for him.
But I reckon if you're 7AFL and you're Triple M, you got to carry some of the blame here as well. You're dummies as well because you saw a story that supposedly one journalist said was the go, and you just went, yeah, roll with that. Mm-hmm. Dumb. Jeepers creepers, fellas, lads. Let us move on from that absolute debacle filled with nonsense and talk about the first semi-final, which is being played second this weekend between, of course, the Brisbane Lions and the Western Bulldogs at the Gay Bar. What do you reckon about this one there, Desmond Van Bus? Who's winning it?
I've decided. It's my time.
What are you doing?
It's time to whip out the Des Dog of the Week. Because this week, I've lost my Des face, right? Oh.
What are you doing?
No one knows what you're talking about. No one knows what you're
I've
doing.
lost me Des Dog of the Week face. So now it's time for me to rug up. I'm putting it on the line. I look absolutely jacked at the moment. OMG.
If only you brought
It is
if only
the
your head was
Des
as
Dog
full
of
as
the
you-
Week. The doggies are getting up.
Why'd you put that on
Yeah.
to tell us this?
What's the point of that?
Because I have to have something for the Des Dog of the Week. I have to have something, and I've rugged up.
What about something intelligent to say?
I'm going to
Does
be
that
rugged
count?
up on Saturday night. No, but well, if you look at it right, doggies are a form. Well, they're really form reliant. So when the chips are down, the doggies struggle. When the chips are up, the doggies are rolling. They like to bully. They like to beat whoever's in. Doesn't really matter who's in front of them. Their form curve, up and down, up and down. And I feel like that they have found their form in that. Really, the last quarter, as Richie likes to say, how teams finish the game the week prior is how they're going to start the game next week. And how Brisbane actually played the entire game against Melbourne, really stuck in second gear, relied on Charlie Cameron. I think that's going to hurt him because, well, really, there's another Charlie Cameron in Doggy Land, and that's called Cody Waitman, and he kicked a bag of goals as well.
He did.
So you take that away and you have a look at all these teams, and if the Lions that showed up last week come out to the Gabba, doggies are going to hurt them, and they won't hurt them immediately. I think it'll give them some time, but it'll be very similar to that Essendon game. It'll look close, and then doggies are just going to go because they're a good side, and they've shown us throughout the whole year they're a good side. With one little dip in form, they're back. They're back, baby, and they are the Des Dog of the Week.
If anyone was transcribing that, if you could write that down and mail it to PO Box 123, the mental institute, Mars. I mean,
Just absolute nonsense.
the most sensible part of that whole thing was him saying something that I say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, copyrighted, stolen,
It is stoled.
What do they call it? UNSA? They call it
plagiarism, mate.
no, not plagiarism. It's integrity, academic integrity. I reference my source.
And yet,
But you're better than Sam Edmund.
I was
then.
about to say, and that he still said more truthful things just then than Sam Edmund did. All right, Dan, I'm going to swing it to you, fella. What do you like here about the doggies and the Lions? Who's winning it?
It's actually a tough one to pick.
Yeah, it is a bit.
This is a genuinely tough one to pick because I like both teams a lot. I've been on the Lions a lot of the year, and I've been on the Dogs a lot of the year as well. So for me, whoever gets eliminated here, it's actually going to hurt me. Not because I have any money on them, just because I like watching them play football.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions really, as you said, didn't look that great Saturday night against Melbourne. The advisors actually were in attendance for that one, and we had a nice little view of the ground. Charles Cameron in great nick. Lachie Neale, 46 touches.
Yeah.
Huge.
Not bad. Not bad when you're considering you're fighting against guys like Track and Oliver for disposals, and he managed to towel them up. Oscar McInerney had a great game. Daniel Rich, solid as always. That you just feel like those guys that were killing it in the early part of the year have just sort of trailed off a bit. Lions, McCluggage, they're just not.
Yeah.
They've not
Sluggish.
really the last couple of weeks. They've not really
Hit top gear.
hit top gear.
Yeah, true.
And they need that from those guys if they're going to get over the Dogs here. In the other sense, Dogs kicked a big-ish score finally, so they managed to kick over 80 for the first time in some
That
while.
was all in the fourth quarter, to be fair, and it was shocking weather. So to do that in shocking weather,
Yep.
in Cyclone Des,
Yep. Look, I saw a lot of people after the game were getting stuck into Cody Waitman. He did benefit from umpires' decisions,
but
but
he didn't play for him.
Either
It's not
they-
like he played for him. Like, if you comment on
Listen,
even then,
look,
you
I'm not going to get
don't
into-
hate the player,
I'm
hate
not-
the game.
I'm-
If you roll the dice and it comes up in your favour, don't hate the
If you
kid.
comment on
hate
Cody
the umpire.
Waitman's
Mate,
Instagram,
Joel Selwood's
you're an
made a
idiot.
career out of it.
Thank you.
If the umpires are going to pay him, then they're there.
Some of them weren't even
I
bad.
I'm not going to get into an argument about that. And even then, you still got to kick them.
Big Sergio.
In
the wet.
they're given to you,
wet.
but you still got to kick them.
True.
So I think the biggest thing for me watching that game was their defence compared to the last time they played the Bombers when they just let Peter Wright walk all over them. Mm-hmm. They obviously went away, thought this ain't happening again, and managed to hold them to 4 goals. So they really worked on that part of the game. Like you said, the weather was a bit different this time around, but I'm really struggling to pick a team to tip. I'm going to tip the Lions purely
Because I tip the Dogs.
No, because it's at the gay bar. If it was anywhere else, I would tip the Dogs, but the Gabatoir has been a real fortress the last couple of years.
Yes, it has.
And I think that's just going to be the deciding factor here. That's it. Not only that, Dogs are locked up in hotel quarantine for a full 24 hours beforehand. They're not allowed to do anything, only inside the hotel. You just have to wonder how much not stretching the legs is going to be able to affect them.
Some of these ones and some of these ones is going to do them real well.
Yeah,
I
well,
reckon.
the Lions are out, getting their eye in,
Yep.
getting a feel for the conditions.
Getting tired.
Don't like
This is interesting. I see both sides. I don't know. Look, it was no.
That's so wrong.
This is. We're getting tired.
I'm redundant. Yeah, but you need to tick the legs
I've
over.
just found out why his swimming career never progressed anywhere.
Because he's as fat as a house. Look at him.
Well, that and too many pre-swim naps.
Well, a bit of that.
Everyone else in the pool doing warm-ups, and he's in the stands.
Des, you going to come do 100 fly? Oh, no, I'm nuzlocking another Pokemon game.
Tony
Unbelievable.
Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 have come out.
It's no surprise to me that Sam Draper absolutely killed it for Essendon against the Dogs.
Huge.
Okay, no surprise at all. The man had something like 40 hit-outs. He had 15, 16 touches somewhere in there.
Superb.
Huge game from a young ruckman. Up against a man in Lockie Young who is just Lewis Lockie Young. Sorry, Lewis Young. In Lewis Young.
Disrespect on this program sometimes is unbelievable. I did it literally 2 minutes ago, so that's all right.
Exactly, yeah.
I do it every pod.
Tawad, I can't believe I got his name wrong.
Young,
Yeah.
I shall refer to him as.
Yeah.
All right.
L Young.
L Young, for those who don't know better.
Lil Young.
Yeah, Aaliyah Young, sure.
No,
yeah.
Lil Young. Like Lil.
No, but yeah,
All right, come
Lil
on,
Young.
come on.
Look, he was a man to be rucked against, and that was about it. It clearly, Luke
Mate, it
Beveridge,
was Burgess for the Suns.
it genuinely was, but clearly Bev thought, okay, look, I'm going to let's assume that we're going to lose the taps here. Let's assume that we're going to give up ruck ascendancy, and assume that the midfield will get to work, because they do have an elite midfield. The top two, genuinely, it's in the conversation for top two.
I mean,
think
I'd
that Dogs
probably
midfield-
put it top one. When they're on, they're on.
You could make that argument, certainly. And then taking Tim English and putting him as that forward target and have everyone work off of him as that foundation going forward, paid dividends. And we were talking about that a couple of weeks back on this show. What's the solution now that Bruce is out? Is that the solution? We've seen 2 weeks in which they fiddled around and did some other stuff. It didn't work out. Making English your tall target, swinging Shaki up forward as well to give him a hand. It just made too much sense, and it was too close to the rest of their structure that's been working for them all year long. And surprise, surprise, they won by 50 points. How was the irony with Jake Stringer being the last bloke to kick the ball, though?
Yeah, very delicious.
Jeepers.
In saying that, though, who does Tim English match up on this week?
This is a great question.
It'll be Harris Andrews,
No, exactly.
and he's not going to have the height advantage on Big Harris.
No,
so
indeed.
it's much more like for like. I actually think this could be quite a low-scoring game. I can see this.
I agree with you on that.
I could see this being a real slugfest
I agree with you on that one, big
I'm
time.
very excited.
for a slugfest.
But I am.
You would be.
You are disgusting. Both of you. I'm back in the form here. I'm going the Doggies 1-39. I think that form, when they're in form, I deciphered through the Designese to work out that you were trying to say that when the Dogs are in form, they are in form. And they ride that peak for a long period of time.
Yep.
But when they
Come
hit
at me, they say.
but when they hit the trough, they stay in the trough
They're
for a
big
long period of
poo.
time. And I think a 50-point win in an elimination final is coming out of the trough. I think they're back. I think they get the win here, to be honest with you. That's my 2 cents.
That's fair. I think it's going to be a good game irrespective.
I'm
but
looking forward to it. I'm glad they've changed this to
Of
the
the two
Saturday night.
games, I'm much keener to sit down and watch this one than Friday night.
Aren't
Strongly
you more
agree.
glad that this is the Saturday night game? You
Yes.
can see what the AFL have done here. They know that one game is going to be a pantsing and one's going to be quite close. Or one's interesting.
So who does the winner of these two play?
Port.
So
I think you're right.
No, Port. So Port play the winner of this, and then Geelong go on to play Melbourne.
Correct.
So who would you rather see play Port?
Dogs, 100%.
Melbourne.
Oh, no.
Out of these two teams,
Yeah.
Lions and Dogs.
No, Melbourne's getting through.
Okay, fair enough then.
Yeah, no.
Mate, was having a fatal four-way at the Adelaide Oval. I actually paid to see that.
Thunderdome.
Yeah,
So would I.
yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
All right,
go.
let's talk multis. I've got 2 little ones, a little squibby one, and a big Bertha one. For your 3-leg same-game multi, have a look at Lockie Neal to get 30, have a look at Jack McRae to get 30, and have a look at my guy, Stinky Linky McCarthy, to have an anytime goal. That's paying about $3.10.
Seeing him kick a goal in real
In the
time.
flesh. I think he missed it. He was on his phone.
Yeah,
I reckon.
for about
You
2
were on your
seconds,
phone.
he looked down at his
It was
phone
funny as
to
he-
check a message from Redacted.
bit like-
I was working.
Stinky put one right in front of Des and I, and we were...
I watched it on replay later and beat meat to it. So I got I got the quality, I got the value out of that one. And I'm looking at another slightly bigger multi. Again, take these, take them as you like. These and gamble responsibly. This is not financial advice. Do what you want to do here. But what I'm liking is Dane Zorko 20 touches. I'm thinking Rich and Lions for 25 apiece. McCluggage, as you said, just not hitting top gear lately. Put him in for 20, as well as my man Bailey Dale in the back line for the Doggies.
He was superb.
Lock him in for 20. Lock him in for 20. And of course, Zach Bailey the man is as reliable as the day is long in front of the big sticks. I'm liking Zachy Bailey for a goal.
And he loves big finals.
Zachy Chan, he's going to line up big time for a goal here
in
a big final. Those together's paying about $6.50.
At the moment, I'm on the under, set at 165. So I feel like it could very well be a high-scoring game, but I've just got this inkling it's going to be a bit of a grinding slugfest here. And the other one I've got for a nice little bit of value is Mitch Hannon anytime. The Dogs' newest superstar key forward. So he's kicked 5 goals in his last 5 games. That is separated 2-0-1-0-2. I'm backing him in for another one here. $1.72. That's good value.
It's not going to rain.
2-0-1-0-2. So the pattern holds this is going to be a 0.
Nah.
You've shown me.
Patterns are made to be broken.
Well, interesting.
So Showers will finish.
I don't subscribe to this binary nonsense, mate.
I'm hurting.
The non-binary life.
I'm hurting. Continue.
Showers finish.
I'll get on
Showers finish at 1 p.m. Does that affect the unders?
Nah, they're good drainage on these grounds, man. It'll be fine by that
That's all
time.
I'm putting it out. I just wanted to check. I didn't know what the weather was, but it's going to be nice and overcast.
Every little bit helps. I genuinely think we have milked every single ounce of goodness out of these 2 games, ladies and gentlemen. That is it from us, your AFL Armchair Advisors. Thank you very much for joining us for this week 2 of the final series for season 2021. Smack that like button, smack that subscribe button, tell a mate, tell a friend, tell them to tune in and have a look at what's going on. We're just some lads that's having a laugh. Hopefully you're getting one out of it as well. And we shall certainly see you next week for a whopping great big prelim final show. Take it easy.